潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
Welcome to our show again, All About Darts. Your host is Robert Mock, and that's myself. And tonight we have two co-hosts here. We have Peter Scott and Bong Bong, our James Bond coach. Actually, Peter is just another good coach. And we also have our guest today, Rick Smith, who's the director from the Brampton Bramalea Dart League. So with that, I'm going to just switch over a little bit to the other side of the language, and we'll get back to our interview and have it underway. 各位觀眾歡迎你哋聽眾，歡迎你哋嚟到又一次嘅潮玩飛鏢嘅訪問。我係你嘅主持Robert。喺呢度亦都有今日有我哋兩位其他嘅co-host 啦，就係大家好熟悉嘅 Peter 啦。Peter Scott 啦，同埋我哋嘅邦邦 James Bond， 今日嚟到我哋接受訪問嘅嘉賓就係一位叫做 Rick Smith， 佢就係一個 Brampton Bramalea Dart League 嘅理事嚟嘅 director 嚟嘅。咁我哋而家咧就開始我哋訪問啦。And first of all, let me welcome you, Rick, to our show and say hello to our audience.
Hi, everybody. Very happy to be here today, Bob.
Okay, and Rick, you are director from the Brampton Bramalea Dart League. So maybe I'll just start off a little bit before I get the co-host to do the job. Is just tell us, Brampton Bramalea must be in Brampton, Ontario, and how many members do they have, and how long have the leagues been around? Just very quickly.
The league started in 1986. Currently, we have almost 400 members, which probably makes it one of the largest dart leagues in Ontario.
Well, very interesting. You're right. From all of my interviews, this is probably one of the ones with a whole lot of members. So 各位就呢一個飛鏢會咧，響Bramalea 嘅咧 ，Brampton 嘅咧就係1986年開始嘅，亦都係有400個會員，係其中一個最大嘅飛鏢會嚟嘅。咁或者我呢個時間就歸翻去我哋嗰兩位其他嘅主持嗰度。Okay, Bond and Peter, you have something to ask our...
Well, I'd like to welcome the readers and the listeners to us, and also to welcome Rick Smith. Rick is one of those unsung heroes that really are essential to darts. He's a volunteer, he spends a lot of his own time and his own money to promote darts, and he's running a dart league in Brampton, and also he is the owner of Maximum Darts. That's an organization. We'll talk about that a little bit later. What I'd like now for Rick to do is actually give us a history about how you got involved in darts, how long you've been playing, and what motivates you in darts.
So we're playing darts. We used to just have friends over, couples would play cards, maybe we'd play darts. It was just for fun, right? And then one day at work, we had met this lady at work, and she said, "Oh, you play darts, right?" And I said, "Yeah, that was, I'm pretty good. I think I'm all right." And she goes, "Oh, we should go and play after work one night." So I thought, okay, I'll try not to be here too bad. Well, I had no idea somebody could shoot that many money.
Okay, so 各位觀眾聽眾，我哋咧就講緊我哋嘅嘉賓講緊咧，就係佢阿 Peter 問我哋嘉賓講解少少佢自己嘅經歷啊，點解要玩飛鏢啊咁啦。佢話佢哋最開始嘅時候都係喺屋企玩下，後尾有一次翻工嘅時候就俾人哋帶咗入去玩飛鏢啊，知道佢玩飛鏢之後，於是就由嗰度開始咧，佢就做咗志願者，就帶人哋玩飛鏢啦。So that's a very interesting start. One that a little different from what I have heard about. Somebody playing at work, and next thing you know, they take you somewhere, and you get started in a thing. So, what do you have to say to that that adventure from that point on? Tell us a little bit more.
Well, it turned out that lady was Catherine Haycock from the Darts Ontario, 20-year director, coach of the national team, right? So it was sort of, I was set aback. Then I thought, wow, if she could play this good, I could play this good. And that motivated me. So I went out and I found a local league. For those of you who know Ian Collette, or remember Ian Collette, stopped by his store. He said, sure, come by Monday night, the Legion. We'll find a spot for you. And that's when it started. And then, I don't know, I think from there, all you can do is call it an addiction.
So that was in 1986, do I get it right, that you're telling the story and it's related to that time? Because when you started the league, you said it was, you said the league started in around 1986. So the story you're relating just a minute ago, is that story?
Well, that was my personal story.
Yes.
Peter had asked me how I got started in darts. So from that one league, that I joined that Ian had sent me to, then I found, of course, obviously found this other league in Brampton, this massive, 400-member league, and then I was playing in both of them for a long time. And then I got involved with that Brampton league, and, because, volunteers, it's hard to find good volunteers. Everybody wants to play, not everybody wants to do the work, so I jumped in and said, yeah, I could be part of this, we could make this better. And then through my friendship with Catherine Haycock, she got me involved with Darts Ontario, and then from there I got involved with the National Dart Federation in Canada. So it's been about 10 years of volunteering my time and my skills and my talents, and I don't regret a minute of it.
OK， 咁其實阿 Rick 咧，佢最初咧就係開始嘅時候受到呢個Catherine 嘅感染啊，佢係一個Darts Ontario 嘅重要人物啦，亦都係一個好好嘅飛鏢手。咁由嗰一刻開始咧，阿 Rick 咧就開始去組織呢個其他嘅飛鏢會啊，包括埋呢個 Brampton 嘅飛鏢會。咁由嗰個時候開始做咗志願者，因為志願者好難揾嘅，一路發展到而家今日400嘅會員㗎啦。And so, Peter, what else do you want to ask Rick?
Well, what I would like to ask him is tell us something about the Brampton League. If somebody wanted to play darts in Brampton, who would they contact? What would they do? And what kind of league is it? Is it for beginners or professionals?
Yeah, well, the Brampton Bramah League, it's several divisions. We've got 4 divisions of players. It's an 8-person team format, men and women. It's not, everybody plays together, right? It's separated by skill level with division. To contact us, find us on the internet. If you search Brampton Bramah League Dart League, BBDL, you'll find us.
Good.
And, there'll be an email form contact. I'm actually the one that receives the email.
Right.
When I get back to people and try to place them on a team.
Can I interrupt for a minute? Is www.bbdl, is it .ca or .com?
No, you would just have to Google it. Like, what we use is your league stats.
Well, okay. So let's have people Google your league by typing in Brampton Bramah League, right?
Yeah.
You have a Facebook as well? No?
Yes, we do. Yes, there's a
okay. Well, I'm sure our intelligent listeners can do all that. OK， 咁Rick 咧就係話俾我哋聽，佢嗰個會咧分4個組嘅，咁係每一個組亦都有唔同嘅水準㗎，咁同埋有8個每隊有8個人，咁佢哋亦都有 Facebook 同埋亦都喺個網上。有嘅，咁但係個網址方面咧，就請大家去 Google 一下，就係呢個 Brampton Bramah League 呢幾個字抌落去，咁你就會揾到佢哋個網址同埋佢哋個網頁噶啦。Okay, and so now what is the latest in development in Brampton Bramah League?
What I would like Rick to mention to most people is that he's the owner of Maximum Darts. Now, is this a dart company? Do you supply darts, or what do you do? What is actually Maximum Darts?
Well, Maximum Darts is a company I started in 2013 because it was through my association with the National Darts Federation. There was a lot of talk. In 2013, Canada hosted the WDF World Cup. It's the first time it's been in Canada. It was about 20 years. And so I've been, previously that, in 2010, I had done the very first live streaming of the Canadian Nationals. First live streaming on darts ever. Nobody had done it before.
Could you explain what live streaming is to our listeners?
Yeah, so I mean, there was a point when Canadian darts was on television, but if you want TSN to come in and broadcast your event, it's $100,000.
Wow.
And then you have to sell the advertising to pay for it.
Right.
So obviously,
It's out of the league, out of the realm for most people.
yes, but by 2010, the technology had evolved that people could watch. It's like
Yeah.
it's like television on the internet
Yes.
for free. Right?
Yes.
The quality isn't there, obviously, right? But I thought, what, this is a free solution. Let's see if people would actually watch, the Canadian Nationals, without the commentators and all the flashy graphics.
Yes.
Would they watch it?
Okay. So it's Rogers, right?
Oh
Something
yeah.
like that.
So we got a free channel that allowed 50 viewers. Well, it was like Black Friday at Walmart. There was like 50 was plugged in the first 15 minutes, and everybody just jostling, going.
Go ahead and see if we can translate that for us.
Yeah, okay, I like to, but I think at this point we almost getting to the point of our time to give our sponsors and advertisers little
break,
airtime here. So and we also need to have a break and wet our throats. So why don't we come back and I'll explain all of that because I've written down some notes here and let our listeners on the other side to understand a little bit more about Rick and Brampton Bramalea and all that. So let's come back to this show in a little bit of time and get off the air for the next minute. Thank you.
華語電台着數多。
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special。
O'Connor Dental Care 全方牙醫服務緊急護理美白種牙箍牙專家，憑質素卡向9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive，電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味，並有純素食食譜。地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，追數卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu Card 15% off。
飛鏢運動除強身健體之餘，仲可訓練頭腦，又可認識新朋友。由 Multicultural Dart Association 主辦嘅飛鏢訓練班現已接受報名，享譽國際嘅 Peter Scott 同飛鏢占士邦親自教導，5堂課程包用具，只需50蚊。報名及查詢電話416-496-9633。
Learn to play darts with Peter Scott and James Bong Faldas at Multicultural Darts Association. 5 sessions, equipment included, only $50. Please call 416-496-9633 for further details.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
OK， 歡迎大家再翻嚟到我哋個節目《潮玩飛鏢》，我係你嘅主持Robert。呢度有今日2個大主持喺度，亦都係 Peter Scott 同埋邦James Bond，亦都有我哋嘅嘉賓 Rick Smith。咁佢就係正如我哋講係一個董事，係一個理事嘅，喺 Brampton Bramalea Dart League 嗰度。咁我哋講咩呢？啱講到上一次喺我哋出咗去之前，就啱講到。呢位Rick Smith 先生佢自己有間公司就叫 Maximum Dart 嘅，咁佢當然係可能係做呢個飛鏢㗎啦， 但係佢亦都講到佢係早啲時候喺2013年嘅時候係做咗一啲嘢係以前都係少人做嘅，就係話將呢個飛鏢嘅比賽直播。因為直播呢，如果揾一間電視台好似 TSN 咁嚟呢，就要先收你10萬蚊啊，仲要你自己攞廣告啊先有可能。咁至於其他嗰啲先錄咗再等上去 YouTube 後播嗰啲都係好事，但係冇乜意思嘅，因為過咗啦，唔係即場。咁於是佢就買咗一啲儀器啊，咁就開始咗佢一個直播嘅系統啦。咁如果你繼續聽落去，你會發覺佢話俾你聽一個好驚人嘅數目嘅觀眾。最初第一次呢，因為個儀器嘅問題，只可以有50人聽，但過後就唔同晒。So last time before we cut over in this program, we talked about how some live broadcasting initially brings only 50 people. But over the little rest we talk about how there's some staggering numbers that you may want to review to us, and I'll bring this back to Peter. You can ask
Rick,
a question.
I understand that your live streaming went to 2013. Actually, was involved in a world-class tournament there.
Oh yes, absolutely. It was the WDF World Cup. Canada hosted it.
WDF,
the World Dart Federation.
World Dart Federation World Cup, which was held
in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Yeah.
First time it's been in Canada in about 20 years.
Yes.
And this is an event that's never been televised or broadcast. So I decided to use my experience from the live streaming to let's see if we can do this and do it a quality production, right?
Right.
And the response was phenomenal. Like even that one that I did back in 2010, there was only 50 viewers because that was a limit on that free channel at the time.
Yes.
And when we opened it up, and we ended up getting like hundreds, and I mean this wasn't even publicized. So when we went to the World Cup, we knew from those kind of numbers and the response we had that we would have a lot of viewer minutes, and that's sort of a measure that live streaming uses. It's not the number of people watching, but it's how many minutes of time people are watching.
Yes.
Just for advertisers and sponsors.
Yes,
how much
right.
time you could have your product exposed.
Yeah, it's vital to a company who's putting out money for
Exactly.
to advertise their product.
So we had a few early adopters. Mm-hmm. We had like specialty sports,
right?
And we also had Bullseye News, and of course the NDFC. They believe in this because they know that we need to promote this sport that we love. And so with those and some money in my own pocket, we said, okay, let's try to do this. And we went to some potential sponsors, and we predicted that we would get 1 million viewer minutes over the course of this 5-day event, right? This 5-day tournament. Because there were 32 countries. We had men, women,
yes.
and youth players there. And so we said worldwide, we predicted a million plus. And the sponsors, they said there's no way that's going to happen. They were completely skeptical, and a lot of them refused to, they didn't want to be part of that.
And so what happened? Was it 1 million? Don't keep us in suspense. Was it a minute?
The opening ceremonies, which is basically just all the countries marching in with their flags and that kind of thing, right? That we hit over 1 million viewer minutes that first day.
Alone.
Just the opening ceremonies.
Wow.
And then we continued for the next 5 days.
In the competition, you would get even more.
Oh yeah, the finals was
yeah.
It was great. We had like 10, 12,000 people online at the same time watching this thing.
It's amazing because now all of a sudden the question pop up in my head is, are we going to make this an Olympic event one of these days?
Well, they're trying very hard in England.
They have been doing that for a number of years. They're trying hard to get darts into the Olympic as a sport. And once you classify darts as a sport, then we're eligible for a lot of funding from the government as a support. But at the moment now, we get no funding from the government in any way whatsoever because they do not consider it a sport.
Yes,
that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a very laborious process, the way I understand it, to get it qualified as an international sport in the Olympics. You have to set up world champions, you have to set up games, and then you have to set up Olympics, trial sports, right? All of that stuff.
Yep. The NDFC, the National Dart Federation of Canada, this has been our big push for, I think, about 4 years now.
Yes.
and they've been working and filing the necessary papers and all of these things with the government and trying to push it through, but it's a very slow process.
Yes, it would take decades, probably at least. So, okay, let's let our listeners on the other side of the language to enjoy a little bit of this for a moment. 我哋啱訪問緊呢個我哋呢位專家Rick Smith 咧，就講到2010年嘅時候，佢開始咗呢個網上廣播啊。咁佢2013年咧就買咗一啲更加重要嘅儀器，就希望揾到人去贊助。咁佢哋最初嘅估計咧就係話響5日嘅世界比賽嗰度咧有32個國家去參加。佢哋咧就希望喺5日內咧夾埋會有100萬分鐘嘅分享，即係話一共有無論幾多人都好啦，佢哋睇咗總共係100萬分鐘，譬如一個人睇60分鐘咁，或者120分鐘，咁即係2個鐘頭啦。咁即係佢係唔係計一個人，佢係計分鐘。咁點知道呢？開始淨係嗰個開幕儀式就已經有100萬分鐘嘅人俾人分享到啦。咁都唔好話唔勁啊，好犀利嘅呢個。咁我哋再講到就係話，對於呢一個項目有冇機會將來成為奧林匹克運動會嘅一部分嘅體育項目呢？因為如果即係飛鏢做咗體育項目嘅時候呢，係會有好多唔同嘅資金由國家嘅運動會嗰度流入嚟培養新嘅人才。咁但係呢一個大家都知道係一個好長好冗長嘅好抌時間去獲得呢個奧林匹克運動會去批准作為一個成立一個項目嘅立案。咁已經開始咗大約4年啦，但係嗰條路呢，就睇嚟有好長嘅時間去走啊！即係起碼都要講唔開10幾年，即係希望最快都先至可以將佢成為一個正式嘅項目。So yeah, okay, I'll let Peter carry on now again.
One of the things that really leaps out of me from what you're telling me is that the sponsors are missing a great opportunity to promote their products and also the dart federation. And
yes, absolutely. I mean, I was looking at some studies trying to figure out how many dart players are in the world. I mean, there's 18 million in the United States, 2 million in Canada, like 20 million in the UK. Like the estimate is about 60 million worldwide.
Yeah, I know from my own research that there's 20 million people in England and Europe playing steel-tip darts, and that doesn't include any that's competitive.
Yeah, but then I have to ask you guys the question, especially Rick, is the fact that, so that was in 2013 when you had this tremendous response that really surprises everybody, including the people who back all of the sponsorship. So are you going to have another attempt, or is there one in 2014? Is there going to be one in 2015?
Well, I mean, regarding the World Cup, that moves around the country. I mean, that was a huge event, right? And, I mean, in 2010, I did the Canadian National Championship. And it was just proof of concept. And it showed me that, yes, people want this. And then when we did the World Cup, and we did the Canadian Nationals in 2013. 2014, I didn't do anything. It was just I had other personal commitments. So I had to pay my bills. So, so I didn't have the opportunity. But I'm really hoping that this year that we can do the 2015 Canadian National Championships again. And this time I'm going to go back to the sponsors armed with this information and say, look, sponsor your product. We only need to get those 1 or 2 big key ones on board. And when they see that return on their investment, then hopefully others will follow.
Okay. 咁其實呢個問題就係話，我問咗呢個問題就係話，佢2013年就做咗，咁2014年有冇做，2015年有冇做呢？即係有冇諗住做呢？咁佢話俾我聽，佢希望2015年嘅時候呢，響呢個加拿大國家比賽嗰度做。咁究竟我哋約攞講下有幾多人響全世界嗰度對呢個玩飛鏢有興趣呢？咁原來響阿 Peter 同阿 Rick 嘅互相切磋之下講得出呢，就係有6000萬人嘅全世界上有興趣玩飛鏢，經常玩飛鏢嘅。 而喺英國同埋歐洲就已經有2000萬人好積極咁參與呢個活動。咁換之話講，其實呢個潛質係好大嘅，呢個商機係好大嘅。咁阿 Rick 佢咧希望就係今年2015年將呢個加拿大國家選拔賽就再登上網嗰度即時轉播，希望嗰個時間就係利用佢以前嘅2013年嗰個咁好嘅成績，去說服一啲贊助商，俾一啲機會佢哋投資落去，俾佢哋去贊助佢哋，等佢哋有一個更成功嘅轉播。So at this point, I'd like to get over to our sponsors, and we would be coming around in a few minutes and continue our last part of the segment with Rick on his leak and some of the other information. And we'll be seeing you on the other side in a few minutes.
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special。
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務，緊急護理、美白、種牙、箍牙專家，憑質素卡向9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive，電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食，美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味，另有純素食食譜。地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016767，質素卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu Card 15% off。
飛鏢運動除強身健體之餘，仲可訓練頭腦，又可認識新朋友。由 Multicultural Dart Association 主辦嘅飛鏢訓練班現已接受報名，享譽國際嘅 Peter Scott 同飛鏢占士邦親自教導，5堂課程包用具，只需50蚊。報名及查詢電話416-496-9633。
Learn to play darts with Peter Scott and James Bong Faldas at Multicultural Darts Association. 5 sessions, equipment included, only $50. Please call 416-496-9633 for further details.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
Okay, now it's time for our resident co-host Bong Bong to give us another update on darts. So here you go, Bong.
March 20 to 22, St. John Port City Open Darts Shoot, $8,150 guaranteed prizes. Royal Canadian Legion, Lancaster Branch 69, 714 Wilson Street, West, St. John, New Brunswick. NDFC rank events and also the world rank by British Darts Organization. Please check www.nbdarts.com and book your room as soon as possible with hotel accommodation at Travel Lodge Suites. NDFC website www.ndfc.ca. Congratulations to Kim Clausen of Manitoba, Dean Willis of Northwest Territories for the NDFC Lifetime Membership Awardees. Kim Hueli of Ontario, Kim Hueli Hills of Ontario, NDFC Distinguished Member.
OK， 咁而家就係提醒大家3月20號至22號啦，就喺呢個聖莊嗰度，即係呢個係紐賓士勒省城嗰度啦，就有呢個8150蚊獎金嘅比賽，就係 Royal Canadian Legion。咁嗰度就喺New Brunswick 就係一 branch 9， 咁亦都係有一啲大家去 check 一 check 就係3個 W NB Darts 即係 NBDARTS.com 啦。咁你要早啲去訂你個位房啊、酒店啊，咁佢哋就係用呢個 Travel Lodge 嘅。咁亦都係可以去查一查呢個3個 W 嘅 NDFC.ca National Darts Federation of Canada。咁同時阿邦亦都係祝賀咗呢3位人士最近攞到最好嘅獎項嘅2014年。
March 22, Sunday, Open Mixed Triples Dart Tournament for Kyle Flaherty Memory. 12 noon to 12:45 p.m. registration. 1 p.m. start time. Entry fee is $20 per team. Format Open Mixed Triples 601. Youth players are allowed to play with raffle prizes. Donations will be gladly accepted. Lakeport Road, RR 87, Port Dalhousie, Legion Branch 350, St. Catharines, Ontario. Proceeds go directly to Kyle's family. Please contact Jay Lynch 905-680-0200. Cody Jinks 905-325-4719。
亦都係響3月22號禮拜日呢，亦都有一個公開混合3打嘅飛鏢比賽。咁呢一個呢，就係一個紀念嘅比賽，由12點至到12點45分就開始報名，1點鐘就開始玩。就呢個就係20蚊一隊，咁呢就601嘅 Open Mixed Triple 嘅。咁嗰啲後生嘅咧，亦都係可以玩，亦都有一啲抽獎嘅。咁如果你想捐贈獎品咧，亦都可以。咁佢哋咧就係響呢個 Lakeport Road Port Dalhousie Legion Branch 350 St. Catharines 嗰度。咁嗰啲錢咧就係去呢個紀念基金嗰度嘅，人哋一個家庭嗰度嘅。咁如果要聯絡嘅咧，就係去 J Lynch 906800200，或者 Cody James 903254719。Okay, and now we're back to our show, and we have Peter here as our co-host, Peter Scott, and Bong Bong, James Bond, and myself, Robert Mock, and our guest today is Rick Smith. So let's continue and have Peter interview Rick here for the rest of the show.
Well, Rick, it's very interesting, and I'm sure our readers and our listeners would really like to experience this live streaming. How would they get on their own computer top quality darts by live streaming?
Well, if you go to MaximumDarts.com.
MaximumDarts.com.
Yeah, you'll find links there to the videos that we've created.
Right. And where would they see one actually in the future?
Coming up in August, there's a North American Championship.
The North American Championship? That's the best darts in North America.
Yep, PDC Spectacular. The winner of this event goes on to the world stage in December, against Phil Taylor and company.
Oh, great. So that's very clear and fairly simple to do. Even an amateur like myself could do that.
Yes, it's open. This tournament is open to anybody.
Okay. The other thing I would like to ask is that we have a lot of beginners out there, and we have some seasoned players. What advice would you give to the beginner? And what advice would you give to the seasoned player based on your own experience in the dart world?
Well, to the beginners, I say that darts is a game, if you love darts, you hate darts as well. Because it's a very frustrating game at times, right? Similar to
bittersweet,
golf, like golf, right? Yep. But if you really you have to live for those moments. Because to get those really great darts, those really great shots, you throw a lot of bad shots in between. So don't worry about the bad ones. Just live for those good moments. Those are the ones that are important.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the advice to the beginner? Starting darts, how would I learn how to throw well?
Well, and this is, I think, a real void that we have generally. Because people try, everybody just sort of has their own technique. and there's no they copy other people, or everybody's willing to give advice, but then you get bad people with bad technique, or people with bad techniques giving bad advice. So I really like what you're doing, Peter, here with the training and giving people a solid foundation, because with that solid foundation you can go far.
Yeah, what we preach here, just as a matter of interest, is that there's many ways to throw a dart. That's the process of throwing the darts, but there's certain basic principles that you have to adhere to if you want to throw good darts.
Yes.
And we teach the principles here, and allow your own style and your own personality to come through in regards to the rest. But without those basic principles, you will never be a good dart player.
I agree with you 110%.
Yeah. And the point is that those principles don't seem to be taught worldwide in all. There's a real shortage of actually places you can go to learn how to play darts well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, OK 咁其實我哋啱啱講完咧，就係話有兩件事嘅。第一件事咧就係呢個網址叫做 maximumdarts.com 咧。咁裏頭咧就會有啲連結去話俾我哋聽，我哋點樣可以收睇即場轉播嘅。咁到時9月啦、10月啦嘅時候咧就有嘅。咁你最好自己去網址度睇睇。咁Peter 亦都跟住問我哋個嘉賓，究竟有咩 tips 可以俾到啲新嘅啱入行嘅飛鏢手啊？咁佢話最主要咧，阿 Rick 話最主要咧都話，佢話因為呢個都係一個即係好煩惱嘅打飛鏢呢樣嘢，即係你唔係即係你每打一個好嘅咧，你打咗10個壞嘅咁一定要有啲耐性，一定要做好基本嘅。咁Peter 亦都話佢哋只係教好基本嘅事情，咁就會做得好好啦。So yeah, okay, and I guess one other quick thought will be on the seasoned players, right? You said the beginners, so maybe Rick can answer that quick question.
To the seasoned players?
Yes.
That's
Seek out better players is what I teach them, and play against them.
Challenge.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so 其實最主要嘅都係話，對於熟練嘅高手咧，一定係揾到一啲其他對手即係無敵係最寂寞嘅。咁所以一定要揾到一啲基本上係一啲好有挑戰性嘅對手，咁通過挑戰咧，你就會有進步啦。So yeah, at this point we are almost to the point where we have to finalize our interview. And is there any last word that you want to very quickly say to our audience, Rick?
No, I think it has been a really fun experience. I'd like to do this again sometime.
Yeah.
So I think to say is goodbye, good night.
Yeah, it's a little different this time. We have to do some corrections with one little segment. So your segment instead of 4 only gets about 3 segments. I'm sorry about that, but that's just the luck of the draw. And okay, but on behalf of the station and the audience, I'd like to thank Rick to come here about so much, talk about so much about all the different things, particularly the online streaming. It's really a new concept to me with all these interviews that I have so far. That's something that stood out that we could probably enjoy if we get to be part of that activity. Okay, so once again, I want to thank Rick and Peter, our host.
Yeah,
and
goodbye and good night to all. Thank
yes,
you, Robert.
And I would now tell our audience on the other side of the language just a final wrap up here. 各位聽眾我哋又一次嚟到最後嘅時間因為原本呢就係有4節嘅，因為我哋第4節呢就有需要去為之前一個訪問去做一啲更正，所以今日呢阿 Rick Smith 呢佢只可以係有3節嘅訪問，咁但係佢都俾咗好多好寶貴嘅意見我哋，嗰啲意見係咩呢？嗰啲意見就係講到話佢有一樣嘢叫做網上直播。咁如果我哋大家都可以分享到呢個網上直播呢，無常係一件好十分理想嘅事，因為我做咁多個訪問以嚟，呢個係一個好新鮮嘅問題。 即係因為做網上直播呢，事實因為我係都有啲技術嘅班底，係需要好強嘅實力，就係即係機械去即係電腦去支持呢一個先做得到嘅。因為如果唔係嘅話呢，你嗰個機呢就會停頓啦，因為有太過多人要求你服侍啊，你嘅潛伏器係做唔掂啊。咁再一次，我哋又多謝大家同我哋分享，我哋同大家分享到呢一啲心得，同我哋嘅嘉賓。咁我哋而家又嚟到潮玩飛鏢嘅最後節目啦，多謝大家收睇，再見。
潮玩飛鏢。
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special。
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務，緊急護理、美白、種牙、箍牙專家，憑追數卡享9折。地址1871號 O'Connor Drive，電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食，美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味，並有純素食食譜。地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016767，追數卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitso Card 15% off。
飛鏢運動除強身健體之餘，仲可訓練頭腦，又可認識新朋友。由 Multicultural Dart Association 主辦嘅飛鏢訓練班現已接受報名，享譽國際嘅 Peter Scott 同飛鏢占士邦親自教導，5堂課程包用具，只需50蚊。報名及查詢電話416-496-9633。
Learn to play darts with Peter Scott and James Bong Faldas at Multicultural Darts Association. 5 sessions, equipment included, only $50. Please call 416-496-9633 for further details.
一數卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
歡迎各位翻到嚟我哋呢個潮玩飛鏢嘅節目嗰度。嗱，今年唔係即係今一節呢就係第4節。咁點解呢？我哋嗰個嘉賓已經走咗啦，就係 Rick Smith。因為呢，我哋呢一節呢係一個補充一啲資料嘅，係上次訪問咗呢個 Darts Ontario 嗰一位女士啊 Katie McCrae。咁呢，佢今日又嚟到我哋個電台嗰度。接受我哋嘅訪問，亦都有在場嘅我Robert 啦，同埋我哋另一位 co-host Peter。Okay, so welcome back to our program here in the last segment of this show. Today we already interviewed Rick Smith, who has departed the studio, and this final segment is going to be going back to information that we did not provide complete last time when we interviewed Katie McCrae from Darts Ontario. So with me again is Peter, and I'm your host Robert, and I'll let Peter do the talking for a minute.
Yeah, thank you, and welcome to our listeners. Katie, and welcome to you, back to you too. I understand that you've received some questions in regards to the Ontario Youth Program, and as you know, Katie McQuaid is a director for Darts Ontario, and she's heavily involved with the youth program. So would you update us on this, Katie?
I will. I'm actually the General Secretary, and our Youth Director, Marjorie Allardyce, has had some inquiries about the different age groups, and I maybe wasn't quite as specific. So I wanted to specifically say that the type age group, which is our youngest age group, is 12 and under. Our juniors are 15 and under, and our seniors are 18 and under. And what's different about the way that they separate those, it's not the date, how old they are, the date they're playing. It's the age they were on September 30th.
On September
whatever
30th,
year.
yeah. Or whatever year, okay.
So let me before I lose the start here talk about the youth program. 各位我哋而家就係講緊因為有少少或者上一次嚟嘅時候訪問唔係太清晰啦，就係講緊佢哋呢個青年計劃嗰度，佢哋嗰啲已經真後生嘅細路咧就係12歲同埋15歲咧就係叫做青年。同埋18歲咧就叫做稍為老一啲嘅青年啦嚇，咁但係呢個計數嘅方法咧，即係歲數嘅方法咧，就係以佢響9月30號2014年嗰日計，唔係計佢本身嘅年齡啊，或者佢響邊個時候玩啊咩嘅嘢。咁啊 Katie 咧就係一個總秘書嘅理事嚟嘅。Okay, back to you, Peter.
Okay, Katie, we have some upcoming youth events. Would you tell our readers, the listeners about that too?
I will. This year is the 30th anniversary of the youth program with Darts Ontario, and we're hosting our annual provincials in St. Catharines at the Holiday Inn Conference Centre on March 14th and 15th. But then we're hosting the Nationals on May 16th and 17th, again in St. Catharines. The qualified players that have qualified for each province, not only are they coming to play for the national team, but they're also going to have an opportunity to represent Canada at the World Masters, the America's Cup. There's a bursary shoot that helps them with student fees, etc. So it's kind of it's more than just darts.
咁其實Katie 想同我哋講咧，我哋嘉賓咧就係話佢哋個會因為佢哋係安省嘅飛鏢總舵啊總會啊嘛，咁佢咧就會舉辦一個國家青年選拔賽啊5月16號同17號上 St. Catherine 嗰個 Holiday Inn 嗰度，咁贏咗嗰啲咧就有機會去再參加代表安省去參加代表加拿大，加拿大就響呢個玩世界錦標賽啦、美國賽啦，仲有其他嘅獎項嘅賽目嚟嘅。OK。
How would the youth become involved in this, Katie, if he was interested in it? And how would somebody actually help out the youth of our dart world and sponsor them?
Well, firstly, it would be a good idea for the youth player or their parent to go to our website. There is a section called Youth, and in there we'll list 28 leagues that are in the Ontario area. Find one that's close to their home, contact the director. If they want more information, they could contact our youth director, Marjorie Alderdice, and her contact information is also on our website.
咁其實Katie 話咧因為 Peter 問佢話咁如果有啲青年想參加呢啲飛鏢比賽又咪安省選拔啊或者乜嘢再開始嘅時候，有啲咩首要做嘅咧？咁Katie 就話第一樣嘢應該去個網址嗰度揾到，因為有28個呢個安省嘅飛鏢總會裏頭有28個呢啲都係有大家有關係嘅總會。咁喺網址嗰度揾到之後咧，你梗係揾一個最近你屋企附近嘅啦，就開始去玩。咁然之後咧，亦都可以喺呢個網址度揾到佢一個青年嘅理事叫 Marjorie，OK，Marjorie，咁咧亦都可以由嗰度開始出發嘅。
Katie, how much would this cost the parent or the youth dart player?
League fees vary in across the province. The cost to join Darts Ontario is $20. So that $20 would be paid when they're playing an event to qualify, for instance, the youth zones.
Okay, and what would happen to that dart player if he qualified and actually won this tournament?
If he were to win a zone shoot, for instance, here in York Region, he would then go to the provincials in St. Catharines, and he would have that opportunity to represent Canada at the World Masters, at the America's Cup, and he also has, or she has, the opportunity to play in the bursary shoots. It's wonderful.
Oh, is it ever?
Yeah.
You know? My goodness me. I've played darts all my life and never represented Canada, and I would love to do that.
Wouldn't it would be so exciting? We have some Canadians now over
There's
in
an
England.
opportunity for the young. Yeah.
Just to clarify for me, this $20 is for Darts Ontario. So for people to join the other leagues, out of the 28 leagues, they still have to pay extra, and this is external to the 28 league joining fees, which is individual.
Yes,
right?
yes, that's correct.
Okay, I just want to
As an example, Bob, in Toronto, which is the only league I'm that familiar with in terms of a youth league, I think they pay something around $3 a week. It's not a huge cost.
No, it's a very minor cost compared to it.
OK，咁其實我哋再講咧，就係咩費用方面咧，就係如果入呢個安省呢個 Ontario 咧 ，Darts Ontario 咧係要俾20蚊嘅。咁另外再入其他嘅會咧，咁亦都要再俾錢。但係因為你而家入咗呢個安省會咧，就令到你將來有機會參加其他嗰啲我哋啱講過，譬如係世界盃啊，代表加拿大，你先要代表加拿大先參加世界盃啊、美國盃啊或者其他嘅嘢嘅。Okay, so I think there's still more information, and back to Peter.
Katie, tell me about a lifetime membership that actually Darts Ontario awards.
We had talked about it the last time, and I wanted to give a little bit more information. Firstly, most Life members have been around darts for a long time, as I said earlier, because they have to accomplish a lot of things. As an example, some of the achievements might be their contribution to darts on an executive for a league or Darts Ontario. Might be how many times they made the Ontario or the Canadian team, things like that. And so it's quite an honor to be bestowed with this lifetime membership.
Yeah, I can understand that. It would be valued by any good dart player.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Katie. That was a real clarification of many things that the readers were interested in and the listeners were interested in, and it's made it quite clear to me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah， 咁其實我哋再講嘅咧係一生會員啊嚇，咁佢今次咧就想澄清一下，就係通常呢啲一生會員咧已經係要玩好多時間喺度啦，係咪？同埋佢就係俾一啲有貢獻嘅人嘅呢啲一生會員，就唔係話即係隨便可以做嘅。咁我相信呢個都係一個好好嘅澄清。So I guess on behalf of the station, I welcome you back for the clarifications and additional information that you provided to our listeners, and I'm looking forward to maybe seeing you again one of these other shows, because you've been really good to us.
You've been great to us as well.
Okay.
Thank you. Goodbye and good night.
Yes, and I would now say something to our audience on the other side of the spectrum. 各位朋友，今日咧就而家咧就係我哋最後一節咁我哋好歡迎Katie 佢翻轉頭，再為我哋接受訪問、澄清同埋俾一啲其他嘅資料我哋，亦都好多謝 Peter 佢一齊翻嚟幫我哋做呢個訪問。咁到下一次我哋先一齊再見。我哋呢個節目就係其實大家都知係不斷有新嘅飛鏢手入嚟參加我哋呢個訪問嘅。咁我哋希望喺將來嘅時間，為大家再帶嚟多一啲各類唔同年紀、唔同性別嘅飛鏢手，為大家再提供一啲新嘅資料同埋 tips。我係你嘅 host 阿 Robert。咁而家我哋就下次再見，拜拜。
華
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special。
O'Connor Dental Care 全方牙醫服務緊急護理美白種牙箍牙專家，憑質素卡享9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive，電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味，另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，質素卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu card 15% off。
飛鏢運動除強身健體之餘，仲可訓練頭腦，又可認識新朋友。由 Multicultural Dart Association 主辦嘅飛鏢訓練班現已接受報名，享譽國際嘅 Peter Scott 同飛鏢占士邦親自教導，5堂課程包用具，只需50蚊。報名及查詢電話416-496-9633。
Learn to play darts with Peter Scott and James Bong Faldas at Multicultural Darts Association. 5 sessions, equipment included, only $50. Please call 416-496-9633 for further details.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數播，一卡在手冇錯過。